Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you guys so much for joining the Judge Panel Workshop. This was the first time we're running something like this in the 4 years that we're hosting this hackathon, and we wanted to really do this to give participants a better view on what careers you can pursue after college and kind of give you a better picture as to why you're doing all these hackathons, because at the end of the day, it does provide you with real world experience that you can apply later on in your careers, in your professional careers. So, with me, I have a small portion of the judges for this year's hackathon. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but we really want this to be an event where you can learn a lot from these people, these qualified professionals, and yeah, feel free to ask any questions if you do, and I'll bring them up to them. So, judges here, please take a moment to introduce yourselves. What is your name? Where are you currently based? And what is your profession in a couple of words? So I guess anyone could get started.
Okay, I will be the first. So I'm a software engineer at Gigi, the leading online marketplace in Africa with over 7 million monthly visitors. I have over 9 years of experience in web and mobile development. It includes working in startups, outsourcing, and products companies, and across of multiple spheres. I also participated in developers competitions and hackathons in both as participant and as a judge. So currently I'm based in Warsaw, Poland. Yeah, it's like a common about me.
I can go next. I'm Harsh Daya. I'm based out of Omaha, Nebraska. I've been with PayPal over a decade and overall industry experience 14 years. I've worked on a bunch of different things from back end, a little bit of front end, CRM. But last few years, I lead the risk platform. So most of my job is researching around online frauds and how to prevent from them from happening and make e-commerce safer for everyone.
Um, cool, I can go next. My name is Kostub. I'm a machine learning engineer at X or Twitter. I've previously been at places like Apple and Snap and other startups in the past. Still decently early on in my career. Just graduated undergrad from U Waterloo. Always been a big hackathon person. Attended loads of them and excited to be here to judge some of them and hopefully provide some guidance.
Um, I can go finally. Hey everyone, I'm Sanjana. I am currently working as a senior system software engineer at NVIDIA. Before this, I did my grad school. I graduated from CMU about a year and a half ago, and I just joined NVIDIA after that. So compared to all of you here, I think I'm pretty new in the corporate game. But hopefully, I can provide some insights on whatever I learned in grad school and whatever experience I have right now. And hopefully, I can learn from all of you guys too.
Of course, yeah. And I think, yeah, Durandra. Oh, you're on mute, I think.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my name is Dhirendra Pawar. I am a senior principal engineer at Dell Technologies. I work on the Edge group, and I've been in this industry almost 10 years, and I have participated in multiple IoT AI based hackathon. I have good experience of that. So I just wanted to be here, take part as a judge, trying to understand what is happening right now, understanding like how people are working and developing stuff, and also give some guidance like around what can be done on the projects and stuff. Before that, before Dell, I was at Cisco working on an IoT platform. There I was leading their smart city portal. They have a smart city platform that I was working on. Um, yeah, excited to be here.
All right, yeah, sounds good. Thank you. Yeah. So you guys are in all different types of professions, I'd say, although it is kind of centered around computer science. So, could you guys take a moment to introduce like what exactly you guys do in your professions? Like what does a typical day in the life look like, or what are projects that you work on with your team, things like that?
Okay, I can continue follow the order that we had previously. So my working routine consists of mainly working tasks related to the UX and UI features in our marketplace. We develop a bunch of new functionality relates to the providing new features for our users that will help them sell the products on our marketplace faster and like with getting more money, having this win-win relationship with our clients. Yeah, it's if we're talking about general stuff, and also we always have to be focused on the performance, security, and user experience.
All right, so maintaining the order. I would say 50 to 60% of my work in risk goes talking to product, compliance, infosec, legal, making sure that the platform adheres to the standards and we are following all the US regulations that we are mandated to. And I do a lot of architecture reviews, code reviews, and I have a team of around 11 engineers. So do a lot of interviewing and stuff like that. But I would say 40% of my work is research focused, where I participate in Merchant Risk Council, which is an external consortium to stay up to date with what are the new fraud and risk happening and how do we prevent those from happening. So a lot of that is industry-wide collaboration on what other companies are doing and how we can join forces to stop fraud.
Cool. Most of my day to day is a lot of coding since I'm kind of like an IC, like an individual contributor. So maybe from a perspective of like someone younger in their career, most of my day goes like I start off and meet with my team usually through stand up, talk about any blockers or issues that are going on with any of my projects. Later in the day, I have a little bit of time to code. So any projects I'm dealing with, any bugs I'm fixing. Currently, I'm working on subscriptions at X, and what we're trying to do is subscriptions is a new feature. I don't know if some of you might have seen, but you can subscribe and have different levels of subscriptions. So like Twitter X Premium, for example. So I'm working on that and integrating some of the payments flow there. That's where I'm working on day to day right now. And then later in the day, sometimes there's opportunity for presenting design reviews for upcoming projects or upcoming ideas to make the flow better. Honestly, it's a very fast moving environment right now. So it isn't like a project takes weeks to get approved. It's pretty quick where you show your team something, and if everyone's on board with it, then you start kind of coding it out immediately. So it's exciting to be in that environment right now. And then yeah, usually the day gets wrapped up with just a little bit more time to code and same thing next day. But that's kind of what my day looks like right now.
I think my day is very similar to what Kaustubh just talked about. It involves a lot of coding since I am primarily an independent contributor. I would say that NVIDIA still has a very startup, fast-paced culture. So even though you are a software engineer, I mean, you can't say that you spend most of your time in coding. It's a lot of other things too, especially because I'm involved in a project which kind of deals with a lot of customers, and then we have ODMs and OEMs, which are basically people who manufacture products for NVIDIA, where they just a use case would be somebody who buys NVIDIA GPUs and then puts together their own server. It could be like a DGX based server. I think a lot of people would have heard of DGX. So what my team primarily does is build tools around it to certify that maybe a server which was built by a third party is NVIDIA compliant, or things like that. So this was a pretty new team, and I remember being the first one to start the project, and it was really hectic. And now our team has grown to about 5 to 6 people. So it involves a lot of coding. It involves coming up with new designs and interacting with customers. So it's generally busy all day, but it's pretty fun and exciting.
Yeah, thank you. I can go ahead. So my job at Dell is quite different. So we are technical evangelist team. So basically, one like we talk to a lot of customers and try to understand what are their challenges and what are the problems that they are facing in the industries. For example, if we focus on a particular vertical like manufacturing or retail, we talk to a lot of customer, understand those requirement, and then we bring in all that thoughts to product team, and then we work with them closely to understand and build a digital solution for them. So we create a solution or a blueprint kind of a thing that is called Dell Validated Design, which gives an end-to-end solution for a customer. So after we build a solution, we actually so that is like our key role. And in day-to-day life, actually mostly we have customer calls, we have POC calls, proof of concept calls. We try to understand what are the challenges. So every day is kind of different. um, and I think 30% of time we get involved into like trying out new solutions or applications that customer has. Like right now we have been working closely with NVIDIA to bring out their devices actually their GPUs inside our servers and testing that out. So that 30% of time we do evangelization, run like multiple um, open source models that are available from NVIDIA and try them, test them, and then also provide some of the solutions to the customer so that the customer doesn't have to go through the pain like installing and like testing it. We just provide them all the results and everything ready to go so that they can just deploy it. So we we are trying to ease customers' pain point and give them a better solution. So that's what we do day to day mostly. My role doesn't involve too much coding, but yes, there is like shell scripting, Python scripting, like sometimes some kind of UI development or automation platform, or like CI/CD pipeline we have to build. So those kind of things we work mostly.
All very, very cool. I know I'm learning a lot. So how did your timeline look like? Because you guys are all in different parts of your career right now, I assume. So how did you enter this profession? Did you enter it as the roles that you guys are in right now, or did it grow or change in different ways over the years? I'm curious, I guess you can follow the same order.
If you're talking about me, I can say that I'm definitely lucky because my school years hobby became my work interest in some sort of web stuff, development in my school years. I started building simple web applications using JavaScript, sometimes using PHP and so on. And then I started getting some orders from the freelance platforms, and it grew up to getting first full-time job in my front-end engineer, front-end developer role. So, and step by step, I grew up to the current level.
Yeah, I can go next. I think for me, it's been pretty conventional. I got my master's and then started out with PayPal as an intern. During my second year of master's, I interned for 9 months and I've been here ever since, over a decade. I think 4 promotions and grew up the ladder. Obviously, doing a bunch of different things over the decade, but yeah, I think it's just people are wonderful and it's a good place to be. So
Yeah, I had a bunch of internships in school, which is probably how I ended up here. I started off as like a full stack engineer at this tech consulting firm. I was there for 4 months, and then I worked part time afterwards. And then I went to this cloud automation startup called Shoreline, which actually just recently got acquired to NVIDIA. And I was an intern there, and then I stayed on part time again for a year and a half, just gaining more and more experience. I interned at Snap as well, doing machine learning, and then obviously Apple, and then now I'm at Twitter. I think I've just been very fortunate to be in different environments at different companies, and more than just learning different tech stacks, being able to meet different types of people and seeing how they work and learn from them. I think the getting exposed to the people at these companies has been like the most fortunate thing for me, because they've been able to guide me, and hopefully I can pay that forward too. But yeah, I think Harsh, I know you asked if I met Elon. He comes in on Wednesdays, so some Wednesdays he's actually in office, and yeah, I had a meeting with him last Wednesday, so it's yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. My path to where I am right now, it's a little unconventional. I was I didn't want to do engineering in the first place, and I wanted to be a doctor. But for some reason, in the last minute, I wasn't sure if I was up for like that grueling 10 years of study. And I wouldn't say chickened out, but then I just thought that's not a good option for me. And then I pursued my engineering, and then I came to the US to do my master's. Um, and while I was doing my master's, I interned at NVIDIA as a system software engineer, and then I graduated and got back to the same team. And yeah, no regrets whatsoever. I think it's a really nice place to be. And there are a lot of people, super smart people. There's so many things you can learn. And I think I'm really excited for that.
Sure, I can go ahead. So I think most of you guys have the similar path. So I had the similar path as well. So I started as intern. I graduated from San Francisco State, and then I got an internship at Cisco at the time. Like I started as a software engineer over there, working on IoT platform. I was a solution engineer, solution software engineer basically. So we were building out solutions over there, and then I got promoted there as a technical marketing engineer. So I was focusing on different verticals, and starting with manufacturing and smart cities. So that were my key focus. And then I was thinking out like, okay, I think I've done a lot of technical marketing, and then I moved to a startup. It got me very excited. Like it was IoT, a satellite-based IoT startup. Then I thought like, okay, this is good. Like, let me jump on it. So I did that for 1 year, and then I did realize that, okay, I need like mm, more opportunity now. So I got an offer from Dell. They were starting their edge business unit, where I became a senior principal engineer working on multiple verticals. So I work on like energy. Sometimes I work on manufacturing. So I am kind of a multidisciplinary evangelist in HPU. So yeah, this is how I ended up here at Dell.
Yeah, it seems interesting. Like you guys all ended up feels like where you wanted to be after working through a bunch of internships and things like that. So I'm sure that you guys have faced challenges throughout your career. And I was just curious to know what was one of the biggest ones that you faced in your career, if at all any, and how has it helped you to become the person that you are today? And I know it's a bit of a loaded question, so of course I feel free to take a moment to think about it.
I cannot see that I faced like a biggest challenge that I have ever faced. I can say that the hardest thing is continue improving yourself, work on yourself, looking for some weak sides in your skills and improve them, and also boost your harder side, your stronger side. So I guess this is the hardest thing that you have to do day by day. Yeah, I guess it's if you're talking about me. So
Yeah, I think one incident that I remember which happened in recent past where I got to learn a lot, especially about the things that I do are important, and it kind of validated that. So there's this mom and pop shop in Iowa selling candles and soaps online, and they use PayPal and Braintree for payment processing. They got attacked by something called a carding attack, where a bunch of different credit cards are bought from the dark web, and they start throwing them at random websites in the hope that something would work. So I think they were like 10,000 requests that they processed on that small business's website, and there is a component called network fees. So even if the transaction doesn't go through, Visa and Mastercard they charge a small fee just for enabling that. So at the end of that incident, that merchant was out 7,000 or so dollars, and considering it's a small business, somebody's running out of their garage in Iowa, it made me feel that the work we do catching these incidents and people responsible for it, it has an impact on the real world and it affects small businesses. So, yeah, that was a really good learning incident and also made me validate that the work I do is impactful.
Cool. I can give a different spin on that. I feel like I've had a lot of times where I've really enjoyed my work because for the same reasons I can see the impact. One of my favorite times has been at Snapchat. So while I was there, I worked on the My AI chatbot, which is an AI chatbot available to all users. And it was a lot of fun releasing these features and seeing people use them. One of my biggest features was uh, in integrating a voice for the chatbot so you can speak to it. So it was a machine learning speech to text model. And that was a lot of fun launching that and developing that. At the same time, I can talk a little bit about my experience at Apple. And there I was working on build infrastructure for operating systems, which is completely different. I definitely did not enjoy it as much as my work at Snap, and that kind of lesson was pretty challenging because I really wanted to enjoy it. I feel like Apple was always a place I wanted to work at, and the people were all very smart, but at the end of the day, I was just not enjoying the work because I was just not passionate about internal tooling or developing things that aren't directly in the hands of users. So it was challenging learning that lesson. But then again, like if I hadn't tried it, then I wouldn't have known, and I probably would have like experimented even later on in my career, and then with probably a little bit of higher stakes and having to stay for longer than just an internship. So I'm pretty happy that I got the chance to at least explore and realize that it wasn't something I liked. I think if I were to offer any advice, it would be like, I know a lot of students and I know a lot of peers that at times don't even care about the type of work and they care more about the company, or the brand name. But honestly, the type of work you're doing really, really matters, and liking it really matters, because that's when you kind of put in the extra work and start excelling and start getting noticed. My work at Snap was noticed by a lot more people internally, and I've made a lot more connections just because I was passionate about what I was doing and excited about it than necessarily what I did at Apple. So I would say make sure to try different things, and don't commit too much before like you're actually having fun on something, and don't just be attracted by like brand names. Yeah.
My perspective on this question would probably be split into two parts. One, the kind of challenges I faced to be where I am today, like my journey till now, versus the challenges I face at work every day. So it was slightly different for me because I moved to a new country and I had to navigate life by myself. So I think that was one of the biggest challenges for me. Without family, you have you have to do your own cooking, you have to study, and then you have exams, and then you have interviews. So navigating all of that for me was a big challenge in itself in the first place. So I think I kind of learned how to manage my time, be more effective and more productive in what I'm trying to do, and kind of focus on what's important at the moment versus like what I can put back on hold for a couple of days or weeks. So that's probably one of the most important things I learned. Coming to the job itself, this was my first actual corporate stint after grad school. So just the vastness of the company, like the knowledge and like all of that was kind of intimidating for me. So being able to cope with that, being able to cope with the fact that people around you are like super knowledgeable, seeking for help, all of that is so important because I was someone who would just try to do things on my own. But then one thing I understood is that it's okay, like even if it's a very dumb question, it's okay to go ask for help. And that's one thing I was really bad at before. So I think I'm learning to get a little better at that. But yeah, I guess that's my perspective on it.
Yeah, I can go ahead. So the challenges which I faced, like I'm not sure. Like I got a little lucky, but yeah, I think what I've seen so far is like getting first internship was like one of the big challenge. What I see when you graduate from school. So that was like one of the um, I think one of the challenge that I faced like during my college years. I was looking for internship, but I think I was at a time that there were not many internship that were given, and then if you don't come from a really good school, it's little harder to get an internship. So, but I was kind of lucky. I got a good opportunity and got an internship. So that was that was like one good thing that happened. But I think you have to like you have to work hard for that and then prepare properly for those kind of interviews. Second thing I would like to say is like when you are in a corporate world, then there you cannot be like highly motivated all the time, like as everyone's like as Kostub, I think he mentioned, I think there is like ups and downs. Like there are certain projects that you would like, sometimes you don't like. Like for me, I don't like documentation at all, but still it's a part and parcel of that particular job, right? So you have to get it done. You have to find out a way to keep yourself motivated. And also there was initially I was having some challenges like adopting to new changes. Like sometimes in companies, big companies, there are some kind of um, executive shift happens, or like the project changes, like hey, um like motivation, or not motivation, but direction changes, and you have to drive through that. Like you have to adopt all those kind of changes, and it shouldn't affect your mental state, because if it has like some kind of you know mm, some kind of challenges, like if you think like there are some challenges, changes that are coming. If it affects your mental health, then it is kind of wrong. So make sure that you don't get affected by those kind of changes that happen in front of you. Like right now in the environment of like layoffs that are coming in. So in those kind of scenarios, you have to keep yourself motivated, and it's really hard. So just wanted to put it out there.
Yeah, there's so many different ways that I think your career can go, and the fact that you have to stay motivated, power through is the most important of it all. So that you guys were kind of dropping this here and there, but if there was one tip you could give to a confused high school or college student on what they want to do in the future, what would that one tip be?
Mm, I can make the next advice that always be open for new opportunities, new challenges, because it will make you stand up from the crowd. You will get new experience that will make some benefits in the long-term perspective.
I think for me, it would be about, especially if you're coming out of high school or college and getting to your first job, like Kaustubh mentioned, not focusing on the brand, but people. Your first manager really has a big impact on your early career trajectory. They they are your champions. So picking out right people whom you can vibe with, you get along well, and work on interesting things. I think, but again, it's totally out of your control. But try to seek working with like-minded individuals who want the best for you.
Yeah, I think the people are a huge part of your career, and I'm still like trying to take advantage of that. In terms of advice, I think one of the things that has helped me the most was really not saying no to a lot of opportunities. I think sometimes I see younger people or people that are going through school right now, they get so picky, like, oh, I don't want to work for this startup, or like, I only want Google, or I only want Meta, um, or just being very picky with their opportunities. But and that involves even saying no to like part-time opportunities. Sometimes, like, I know they have like a lot of startups do like part-time jobs, and I know some kids that say no to that, and it's like the worst case that happens by using yes is that you learn that you don't like something, and maybe you're bad at it, and so maybe they don't like you. But that's like the worst case. but the best case is that you know for next time that one, you don't like something, or you do like something. And two is like the connections you make are invaluable, especially like people doing startups and such like that. Like they come back to be so much so useful in your career in a variety of ways, just to connect you to different people. Like for example, Shoreline was not a big deal until last month, because now it got acquired by Nvidia, and now when I mention Shoreline, a lot of people know it. When I was doing Shoreline, it was just another Series B random startup. But at the end of the day, it was like an opportunity that I didn't say no to, and even the part-time I didn't say no to. And it was just a great learning experience because it allows me to have conversation about like cloud and DevOps, and be at least knowledgeable in the space, even though I'm not passionate about cloud automation any longer, and I want to work more on consumer products. Not saying no to a lot of opportunities at the start of your career, I think, gives you that exposure. So yeah, I just be advising you to be open, and anything that comes your way, be active about it. And yeah, well, lend your time to other people, especially like when you're starting out. I wouldn't say the same like later on, but at least starting out.
Yeah, I think later on saying no is a skill that you will need to develop.
Yeah, 100%, I agree.
I think even the biggest advice I would give to somebody just starting out is explore all opportunities that you get in your hand, and even if you feel like you're comfortable in a place, or you wanted to graduate, you wanted to go be a software engineer at Google, and you are that, I think you should still like explore around, because there's always interesting work going on that you might be more interested in, or that might suit your profile better. Um, I would say so. Just don't get comfortable very early on. That's something you could do closer to your retirement. But then, when you're still starting out, just go explore. Even if something is new, it's still worth the effort, because either you might be learning something new and you really like it, or you might not like it and figure out that you want to be where you actually are. So, and Kaustubh said, not saying no to opportunities. I think that's a very good point. But since I've been here in like the industry for like about 2 years now, I think um, drawing your boundaries is also a very important thing that I'm still learning, especially since we're always sitting in front of the screens. It could be a lot at times. We're always in front of screens from like 8 a.m. to probably evenings, and then we're always on our phones, right? So, having a healthy balance is really important, and sometimes we need to be learning to say no to things and drawing boundaries, but at the same time, not stop exploring opportunities and seeking advice from mentors at an early stage is super important. I personally speak to someone every month. We talk about like, the work that you do is really important, but how you showcase it is also a different ball game in itself, because sometimes you won't be able to really articulate what you have done, but that is something which is important to like showcase your impact, right? Because we're all software engineers. Sometimes it could be just writing lines of code, but that's just not all you do, right? It could be a lot of different things like fixing bugs, or you spoke to someone, got a lot of information, or you helped somebody else. So how you articulate and put that forward, that's really important. And I have a mentor who really helps me with communication and like language, because that's a different, I would say it's a different skill, especially in corporate. So, so yeah, having good mentors really helps.
Yeah, I think most of you guys had said a lot. I would say like there are few things that helped me keep motivated. So I think find out what you are passionate about and drive towards that. The second is you try to learn new things so that you can keep yourself more motivated. um, as I think most of you said, that build your circle or network with people so that or like-minded people so that you can learn from them and have a good company so that that will also keep you motivated for what you are doing. As I already mentioned that there are ups and downs, so try to find out like some other hobbies so that you can get distracted from work and you know completely disconnect from work and reset yourself and then go back and you become more motivated and start going. And I would also say like work on small project for yourself as well, like um, suppose like for me I started working on some more LLM project, and it kept me more motivated. And suddenly I saw an opportunity within my company to to work on LLM projects. So it helps, like being promoted. Sometimes it helps, getting into a what you like, and sometimes it helps to identify what you are good at. So yeah, try those kind of things.
All right, those were all the questions that I had. So I just wanted to thank you guys again for taking the time out of your days to do this. I hope that people take a lot away from this, especially as they go on to pursue things in the future. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you guys continue to have a wonderful experience with the hackathon. And we'll see the results hopefully tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.